The person you've been thinking about has not let go of their feelings for you. Despite any past misunderstandings, silence, or distance, their heart still holds a deep space for you. They haven't given up, not even close. In fact, they're in a place now where they're actively working through their emotional walls. They want to transform the defensiveness that may have once defined their behavior into openness and vulnerability. It's not easy for them, but they are growing. They're realizing that in order to be truly connected to someone as meaningful as you, they have to let go of old fears, past wounds, and self-imposed barriers. They no longer want to hold themselves back from expressing what's truly in their heart. They're beginning to understand the value of being honest, not just about what's happening in their life, but about how they feel toward you. It's not just about words or confessions either, it's about being fully present, emotionally available, and consistent. They want to show up for you in ways they perhaps didn't or couldn't before. There's a strong desire within them for a fresh start, a clean slate where the two of you can reconnect, not just to pick up where things left off, but to build something new and real, rooted in truth, loyalty, and mutual effort. This person envisions a relationship that is balanced and fair, where both of you give and receive equally. They are no longer satisfied with superficial interactions or one-sided connections. They want to build a partnership with you, one where trust is solid and communication flows freely. They dream of creating something that lasts, something meaningful and grounded. They've spent time thinking about this, and you're at the center of their vision for the future. You aren't just a fleeting thought, they often find themselves daydreaming about what life with you could look like. Their thoughts about you are incredibly romantic and tender. They see you as someone soft, emotionally rich, and genuine. From the way you carry yourself, to the energy you radiate, they sense that you, too, are someone who values deep connection and emotional intimacy. In their mind's eye, you're not just attractive, you're emotionally beautiful. There's something about your presence that calms them and excites them at the same time. You bring out a side of them that longs to nurture, protect, and adore. They often imagine intimate and comforting moments with you, playing with your hair, holding you close in long, quiet cuddles through the night, kissing your forehead gently to remind you how deeply loved you are. These aren't just fantasies, they are emotional expressions of the kind of connection they want to share with you. They want to make you feel special, not just with words but with actions, attention, and affection. They want to show up for you in your everyday life, during your highs and your lows, and be the one you can lean on without hesitation. What excites them most is the vision of you two as a couple, not in a shallow or performative way, but in a deeply soulful and romantic bond. They picture shared mornings, quiet dinners, laughter, inside jokes, support during tough days, and joy during the good ones. They dream of building a relationship that feels like a safe haven for both of you. A space where you can be fully yourselves, unfiltered, unguarded, and understood. More than anything, they're hoping that the energy they feel from you, the softness, the romantic nature, the intuitive emotional depth, is something you might also feel toward them. They sense it, even if it hasn't been spoken aloud. There's a quiet hope within them that you, too, imagine what it would be like to be held by them, to be loved by them, in the same tender and all-encompassing way. This desire for a renewed beginning isn't impulsive or shallow. It comes from a place of reflection, emotional maturing, and clarity. They've realized that real connection isn't about perfection or having all the answers, it's about showing up, choosing one another daily, and being willing to grow together. And with you, that feels not only possible, it feels profoundly worth it. So if you've been wondering whether this person still thinks about you, whether they care, or whether there's a future between you, know that in their heart, you remain someone incredibly significant. They haven't given up. They're just hoping, with all sincerity, that it's not too late to begin again, with truth, with love, and with both of you walking forward together, hand in hand. I am fully allowing myself to feel this love, deeply, unapologetically, and without resistance. For the first time in a long while, I'm choosing not to suppress or second-guess what's in my heart. This isn't just about attraction anymore, it's something far more profound. When we first crossed paths, I felt an overwhelming pull towards you, a magnetic force that both scared and fascinated me. The intensity of that connection made me hesitate. I was afraid even to speak to you because I didn't know how to handle the emotions that surged every time I thought of you or saw your face. It was as if your presence stirred something ancient in me, something I hadn't yet learned to embrace or understand. But things have shifted. Now, instead of running from that feeling or questioning it, I've chosen to lean in, to explore it, to honor it, to let it unfold naturally. What I once feared, I now cherish. This love, this connection, is unlike anything I've ever known. It's not just romantic, it's spiritual, transformative. It's the kind of love that holds a mirror up to your soul and dares you to grow, to heal, to awaken. I've come to realize that the beauty of what we share doesn't come from perfection or predictability, but from its raw truth and sacred purpose. This journey, our journey, is teaching me more than I ever expected. It's not always easy, but every moment with you, whether filled with joy or challenge, has been a teacher. I've had to confront parts of myself I had buried for years. I've had to sit with my wounds, acknowledge my patterns, and most importantly, take responsibility for them. One of the greatest lessons I've learned through all of this is how essential it is not to project my fears and insecurities onto others, especially not onto the people I love. For a long time, I misunderstood love. I thought love was supposed to be soft, easy, and safe. But true love, I'm learning, is brave. It demands vulnerability. It requires self-awareness. Before this, I often viewed connections through a lens of fear, afraid of being abandoned, afraid of not being enough, afraid of being hurt. And because of those fears, I unintentionally sabotaged the very things I most wanted to keep. I built walls instead of bridges. I let my insecurities speak louder than my heart. When we first connected, I saw it through that same lens. I convinced myself that this was going to end in pain, that it was too intense, too fast, too good to be true. And in doing so, I created unnecessary suffering. But now, with clarity and presence, I see things differently. This isn't a source of pain, it's a blessing. You are a blessing. Your presence in my life has been a divine gift, one that came not to break me, but to awaken me. And for that, I am profoundly grateful. You have helped me grow in ways I didn't think possible. Your energy, your words, your very existence have sparked a kind of internal awakening I didn't know I needed. Because of you, I've started to see the sacredness in everything, in love, in healing, in emotional depth, in personal evolution. You've shown me that love can be both grounding and elevating at the same time. That it can shake the foundations of who you thought you were and still be the most stabilizing force in your life. So now, I choose to embrace this love fully. I choose to honor it as something holy, something rare. I no longer want to let fear dictate the way I connect or love. I want to be present for every emotion, every experience, every moment that this connection offers. Because even in the uncertainty, even in the vulnerability, there is beauty. There is growth. There is truth. Thank you for coming into my life, not just as a romantic presence, but as a spiritual catalyst. Thank you for helping me see myself more clearly. Thank you for showing me what it means to love with depth and intention. Whether our paths remain forever entwined or diverge down the line, what you've given me will stay with me always. You've helped me become more of who I truly am, an enlightened being, open-hearted and aware. I am not the same person I was before you, and I wouldn't want to be. This connection has changed me for the better. And for that, I will always carry gratitude in my heart. The heat and passion within me have been rising with an intensity one can no longer contain. It feels like a volcano deep inside me, building and rumbling with every passing moment. The more I try to distract myself, the more your image finds its way back into my thoughts. I can't take my mind off your pictures, your eyes, your smile, the way your presence seems to radiate from the screen and sink into the deepest parts of me. You are the only one I think about when it comes to love, real love, not the fleeting kind that passes with time, but the kind that roots itself deep in the soul and refuses to let go. Every day, I feel this overwhelming desire to reconnect with you, not just physically, though that longing is very real, but emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It's not simply about passion, though the passion is undeniably there. It's about something deeper, something rare. My yearning to share space with you, to feel the warmth of your presence, to experience your energy firsthand, continues to grow stronger and more consuming. You linger in my thoughts constantly. The sound of your voice replays in my mind, grounding me and yet pushing my imagination to wander. I can't get enough of you. It's in the way you speak, calm, intelligent, and assured. It's in the strength you display, especially when life throws its hardest tests your way. I've seen how you carry yourself with dignity and resilience, even in moments that would break others. You stand tall, unwavering, and that inspires me in ways I can barely express. Everything about you captivates me. The way you smile, the way you think, the way you handle adversity with grace, each piece of who you are adds to this intricate and beautiful portrait I see whenever I close my eyes. You are, without exaggeration, the most beautiful and attractive woman I've ever encountered, not just physically, but in spirit, in strength, and in soul. There's a light in you that draws me in and holds me there, unable and unwilling to look away. As I continue to work on myself, emotionally, mentally, and in all the areas that matter, I find that I'm not only healing and growing, but also becoming someone I believe is more worthy of standing by your side. The more progress I make, the more aligned I feel with the version of myself I want you to see, not perfect, but aware, grounded, and open-hearted. And in those moments of personal evolution, something profound happens. I find myself more drawn to you than ever before. Because only then, in those rare moments of clarity and self-awareness, do I truly see myself as someone who could be your equal, your partner, your perfect match. It's not just about wanting you. It's about believing in the kind of connection we could share. I see in you the potential for something extraordinary, an intimacy that goes beyond the surface, a bond that transcends physical attraction and dives deep into emotional resonance. I want to know your thoughts, your fears, your dreams, your memories. I want to sit with you in silence and still feel understood. I want to share laughter, pain, growth, and everything in between. I imagine us talking late into the night, not because we have to, but because we can't stop. I imagine being there for you in the ways that truly count, not just with words, but with action, with presence, with consistency. I want to hold space for you when you're tired, cheer for you when you're thriving, and lift you when you're low. And in turn, I want you to see the man I'm becoming, not for anyone else, but for myself and for the kind of love I want to offer you. This feeling isn't a fleeting infatuation. It's a persistent pull, a constant beat in my chest reminding me that what I feel for you is real. It's honest. It's alive. And no matter how much time passes, that feeling only grows. You've become the standard I measure everything against, the person who lives quietly at the center of my heart, even when the world is noisy and loud. So here I am, putting this into words, hoping they carry the weight of what I truly feel. I don't know where this path will lead or what the future holds, but I do know that you are worth every step, every moment of patience, and every ounce of effort. Because loving you, or even having the chance to love you, is not something I take lightly. It's a gift, a fire, a promise of something unforgettable. And I will never stop wanting to build something beautiful with you.